What's up? What's the word?
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cody Mack here, another episode. What's the word? I'm here in the building with the homie. Huey V.
Huey V in the building, man. Roc Nation Warehouse Music Group in the building for a fact. It's popping, man.
What's going on with you guys?
Yeah.
This interview been a long time coming, man. It's been a long time coming.
No, for a fact. What? That route down here was longer. I ain't gonna lie to you. What? Traffic serious in Chicago right now.
So you came straight from Chicago, from Milwaukee?
Yeah. Straight from up there. It's next door.
I'm thinking you was already in Iraq just in here chilling. So we your first stop. You can go get something to eat.
You feel me? The Jerkville I had to see what the wings is talking about. You know, I'm a big wing connoisseur. I had to see what the wings is talking about down here for a fact.
So hold on, how many times have you visited Chicago?
I used to come out here super often. Like a couple years ago, I think it was probably like 2016, 2017. I want to say like a year or so after graduation. I was probably down here for I think I spent like 3, 4, 5 months down here all together. Left, came back again for like another 2, 3 months or some shit like that. And then I did the same thing for probably like 2, 3 years. I want to say something like that. A lot of back and forth.
Okay, so you say you're a wing connoisseur. So what chicken was you eating? I know you eating that Harold's chicken.
Oh yeah,
right?
we had I still ain't had Harold's. Yo. Ain't nobody pulled me up to Harold's, man.
What's that meme that be like on and it be like Tyler Creator be like, boo this thing.
Yo.
Boo this man.
Okay.
How you been?
I gotta go to Harold's, man.
Y'all ain't got no Harold's up there in Milwaukee?
Hell no. We got JJ's. Yo, chill. We got JJ's. Yeah, JJ's hitting on, but it's lemon pepper. It's lemon pepper. If I ain't gonna lie, on the low key tip in Milwaukee, it's a spot called the Milwaukee Brow House. We got Jamaican jerk, dry rub though. It's dry rub. It ain't no good wet wings. I mean, they got curry and shit, but that's at this spot called Daddy's. That's like soul food. But nah, Brow House, they got the best Jamaican jerk wings. I gotta bring them up here. No cap. I got to, just so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
We're gonna come through and see what Milwaukee hitting on. I've never been to Milwaukee, but I always wanted to go out there and see.
Oh yeah, you gotta pull up, man. We got women. I ain't gonna say we got weather. We ain't got the weather. The weather trash up there. Too much snow, that's trash. But we got the women. We definitely got the music. We got the tweakers up there. We got the sports up there. Whatever you want to see, everything up there. We got it all out there.
You know what's crazy? I heard, when it comes to the Midwest, I've heard that it's some low key joints.
Oh man,
in Milwaukee and in the Twin Cities. If you go to Minnesota, I heard it's some you can find some nice women up there.
Yo, for real, I be trying to tell people and they homegrown, cornbread fed. You feel me? Yeah. Being out of Miami, they had me spoiled for a little bit, but everybody belly buttons look the same. So it's like, all right, I'm over this shit.
Yeah, you getting a lot of plastic chicks out there.
Yeah. Over with.
I feel like I got you in a good mood today, man.
Man.
In a good mood. So we got to do a formal introduction, right? Mm-hmm. So from our audience that may not know you, I'm talking to Huey V, kid. I ain't gonna say a kid, but you rising artist.
We on the rise, yeah. We on the rise
from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You signed to Warehouse Music Group. Mm-hmm. So give us a background on who you are and how you get to this point where you are today.
Man, consistency. But I grew up on the north side of the city, 33rd and Gleaning, 32nd Gleaning. You'll see it on like all of my EP cover arts and stuff like that. I got to put the hood up. But I was born on 11th Wright Street. We did a lot of moving around the north side, so I spent some time on 11th Wright Street. Family been on 33rd and Gleaning for like 70 years type shit. Lee family. If they know the Lees, then you know them. But after that, I went to 41st and Congress, north side again. Now I'm on like 71st, 67th Village, like that, back in the hood with it. But yeah, we've been doing this music for probably like, I want to say 10 years since I was like 14 years old. First started rapping and doing poetry at first. And then moved that over into, what was he doing? Like African proverbs, shit like that. I used to do that. And that was my first time of like taking metaphors and making it way bigger than what it actually was. So I want to say probably like 18, I hit my first studio, like my actual first studio, because I had my own laptop. I used to record people out the crib. I used to give haircuts in the bathroom at school, whatever to get the money type shit. So boom, eventually found my first studio. I did that for like a year. I had a mixtape called Get Well Soon. It's not even on streaming platforms no more. I took it all down. I might put it up as like an NFT or something like that in a couple years. But did that. And then eventually I dropped a single called No Regrets, and that's what caught Bleek attention. So ever since then, it was a history.
Okay. All right. So you just spoke on African proverb. What's your favorite African proverb?
Oh, you got me there. I ain't gonna be able to give you one off the top of my head, for a fact.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's one of mine that always stuck out, and it was the one that say, don't quote me on this, but it's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I heard that before.
So that's my favorite one.
It's a fact too. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's a fact. It definitely is. That shit take way longer. That shit take way longer when you do it by yourself. It do. And you usually fall faster. You fall faster. You gotta build some type of like kingdoms or something around you. As you see, you got Jake. He got Puma around him. You got Rihanna. She's a billionaire. Kanye's a billionaire. Like I'm pretty sure Cole probably gonna be on his way up there too. So B, like you gotta put kings around you. You gotta put queens around you for a fact.
Oh, that's valid. So we gonna get into that because you name dropping a little too early. You name dropping a little bit too early. So we're gonna get into the transition as far as like going to together, right? And you getting the your team, right? So you just mentioned like you were a warehouse music group and you got signed with Memphis Bleek. That's Memphis Bleek joint venture with Roc Nation, right?
Yeah.
So tell me the story how that came about. Like how did you get introduced to Bleek?
It was through the record No Regrets. So, like I was saying, I had this mixtape called Get Well Soon first. I did that independently. So after I put that out, I want to say probably like a year and a half later on my brother's birthday, because his birthday on the 4th, I put out my song called No Regrets. I had it, but I just had it in the tuck type shit. Like, damn, I don't know if this is it. But every time I played it to somebody, they'd be like, damn, bro, this is damn near like undeniable. Like getting chills around this. I think it was like the second hook. Whenever I took that bitch up on that last hook, chills every single time. And then from there, I was like, okay, cool. Maybe this is a sound that I should go for it. Type. This is the one that I connect with the most. It's the one that people like enjoy the most. So I guess I had a homegirl and she was playing No Regrets, but she's playing music at a kickback type in Allentown, PA. So I guess one of the A&Rs from either Warehouse or from Roc Nation, one of them. But if you're wearing a paper plane hat, which most in New York wear, probably signed to Roc Nation. It's probably like 300 out in New York right now wearing paper plane hats and shit like that. You got to figure out who actually worked for Roc Nation or not. But that hat on. So I'm like, all right, cool. He must mean serious business type shit. So he reached out to me. He like, yo, give me like 6 months. If I can make something happen with you, then make me a manager. All right, cool. If don't nothing happen, then you ain't gotta. We can split ways, whatever. But it's all good. It's all love. So I'm like, all right, cool. Give him an opportunity. He take the record that he heard at the kickback that homegirl was playing, and he sent it out to somebody who knew Bleek, and they put the song across Bleek table. I want to say probably like 2 weeks later, he ended up giving me a call, like, yo, shit hot, I need like 2 more songs just to make sure this ain't no fluke. So I sent him R.I.P. Benji. And after the deal, ever since then, niggas flew me out to New York, signed the papers for Roc Nation, and they flew me out to Florida, made it official with Warehouse.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this, because off camera we just talking about being independent and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In a day and age where every artist right now is saying like, don't sign.
Everybody want to be independent, man.
Like, why did you sign, man? Why? Like,
it's crazy. I was one of them young kids who was like that too. It's like, yo, I want to be independent, but then at the same time, I'll be honest with you. When the pandemic hit, I was like, all right, cool. It's either you could bet on yourself, or you could take that long route. And in a sense, it was like, all right, cool, taking the independent route will probably be more self-fulfilling to me, like, because that's always what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But in a sense, it's kind of selfish because you're seeing everybody around you go through it. So you're like, cool, I got this opportunity to change everybody's life. Either I'm going to be selfish and not take the opportunity, or I'm going to put my money where my mouth is type shit. I'm going to jump into the league. We're going to see where it takes me. So I signed the deal, or at least I ain't even gonna say I signed the deal. I started thinking about whether I wanted to even sign the deal, and I want to say probably like a few months later is when it actually like went into full effect.
Okay, so what made you see like, yo, okay, if Bleek is interested in it, and this is, where he come from, the conglomerate he come from, if he's interested in it, what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna just take this right in and now and not like weigh my options and go out a little further?
It's It's weird. It's weird. I'm big on like divine timing, and like I'm big on like what's the word I'm looking for? That's like how we was talking about proverbs and like metaphors and shit like that. So I ain't even gonna lie to you, I'm a bit superstitious. So my first like actual job after I graduated and shit like that was at this warehouse. I used to work at this warehouse, JC Penney Logistics Center. I used to work at that. I was like probably like 19 or 18 or something like that. And then when I turned 19 originally, I got this pyramid tattooed on the back of my back. I got this big ass on the back of my back. This is before I even like was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna start rapping. Remember, this is my first mixtape when I did get well soon. So when they reached out to me, it was kind of like, damn, this is divine time, and I'm trying to like figure out places in my life and shit, trying to figure out my life. You know, I'm going through a whole bunch of shit. And so it kind of just made sense. And then when I'm like, you know, just studying music and shit like that, it's probably smart to align yourself with such a great lineage than to just sign to a new artist that's in the moment. It's like if you was a basketball player, would you sign to Jordan?
Give me another analogy. Oh no,
so like Hove is kind of like Hove and Bleek is kind of like Jordan in my head. Roc Nation is like Jordan. Everybody try to get to the rock chain, try to Rockefeller. Da, da, da. Everybody wouldn't do that. Everybody wouldn't do that. So it's kind of like if Hove is Jordan, it's kind of like signing to Jordan and shit. It's like that's what it kind of feel like. It's just the smartest play.
I get you. I wouldn't say signing to Jordan because if you know basketball, Jordan makes the worst. He makes the worst executive decisions when outside of him.
It happens, man. It happens.
He makes the worst executive decisions. But talent wise, he the best. I get that. So I get it. So you over there, you signed the Roc warehouse. Y'all doing y'all thing. You in the dough. So what has been some of the best advice you've given Bleek have given to you since you've been there?
Best advice I got from Bleek? Really to stay true to myself. To be honest with you, like not to try and take up somebody like sound and like that, because you might have a sound, but it just might not be the time for it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like, you know, people aren't necessarily ready for what you are giving out at the moment. It's kind of like when Kanye first dropped 808s and Heartbreaks. I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably didn't even listen to that album until, now that I think about it, like 3 years ago. That's my first time listening to it. Yeah, 808s and Heartbreaks was like 3 years ago because of the auto-tune. It was too auto-tuned out. But now you look at the culture, the sound. People told T-Pain he was trash when he first came out. Now everybody sound like T-Pain. So
I get that from you because I listen to your music. I can get it. I can tell that you're not really.
I ain't following no trends.
Yeah, you ain't following the trend.
Yeah, I just let my creativity push me wherever it can possibly go. Type shit. I like to create with a clean canvas. The people that like inspire me is like Kendrick, and then when you look at his albums, none of them necessarily sound exactly the same outside of like the sense of how he takes his approach metaphorically. Every time you listen to it, it's not something that you could just listen to at first point. You might have to look at it from a couple angles. People was listening to the damn album and listening to it backwards, saying like, "Oh yeah, this might da da da." But to be honest with you, I don't even think that doing that shit on purpose. I think it's just got to a point where like if you put out music and it can be so widely interpreted sometimes it'll take over itself. It's like people are trying to figure out your shit and that's not even what you mean. I watch it happen to me. Tell me what my lyric mean and he wasn't even there for it. Like that type of shit is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think people understand like you have really zero control of how the people gonna interpret it.
Oh, what?
Once it leaves and goes out, like you have no control of how people gonna interpret it. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I think that's kind of how we connect with like the world in a sense. It's like, you know, something may mean something to me necessarily, but it might hit harder for somebody else because they might have went through it a little bit more like, you know, intact with what I'm exactly saying. Or it might just be I'm recanting on some shit that I've already felt in the past and somebody's going through it right then at that moment. I've had that happen sometimes too.
That's valid. I would say, all right, so you're just talking about the art and once the art leaves out and how people receive the art, right? Mm. How do you curate? Like, what's your creative process when curating this art?
I don't even do much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even do much. Like when I zone in, but that's just because like I'm super into literature and shit like that. So that's really the only thing I care about. But in order for me to get in my vibe, I need a big ass blunt. I need a core water. I need 2 licorice, the red ones, not the black ones. If you got the black ones, it's like wearing black Air Force. I can't trust you. I can't trust you if you eat black licorice and shit like that. And maybe like people from Miami, or actually they up north now too. I don't know if y'all got them. Y'all know what voodoo chips is?
Who?
Voodoo chips? Oh, what? Okay. So if you ever go down to motherfucking Miami or your next trip to Florida, wherever, because they might have them like throughout the whole state, some shit called voodoo chips, kettle corn. I think it's like, I can't even explain the flavor, bro. But I heard the story that it came from the prisons originally. Like it was a prison snack, but it was so good that it made it to the outside type. Tried that shit for the first time. I was like, yo, this shit trash. And about my 3rd time having it, I'm like, oh yeah, every time I stop to the gas station, I gotta get some voodoo chips and shit like that.
What's they say?
Right.
Institutionalized, brother.
Institutionalized. What? On the outside.
I ain't gonna lie, my pops, man. Shout out to my old man. My pops went to jail, and it's this dip that they make in jail.
Bruh, yeah.
He be making that shit to this day.
I'm telling you, bro. Right.
Institutionalized. Shout out to my old man. But nah, that's what's up about to try them chips. And you say you need the chips and the blunt, you gonna come home with a
chips and the blunt. I'm coming home with a hit.
You coming home with a hit.
Yeah, no fact.
When it come down to create music, you mentioned, it was mentioned in the interview that you want to start your career off by not needing a cosign. Like it'd be easy for you to like to, oh yeah, I got Bleek, or I'm gonna go down the whole. No, it's easy for an executive like that with that much resources to just start calling in and getting them to get you.
You know what, yo, it's weird because like at first I wanted to start off. I'm not gonna say at first I wanted to start off. I did start off without the cosign, but that's usually how it is. You kind of just gotta show and prove, back you type shit. But I always had like Bleek could tell me, hey yo, he Jay just called, said after this was his first song. I remember the first, not first but favorite song. I remember the first time that I recorded the shit and sent it in to him, and they was getting it mixed and mastered. He said that boy called him like hype about the shit because Guru staying in the basement, just in a cave in a dungeon, basically mixing all the records. So he mixing the records in the house. So as they're walking through the crib, walking through the basement, they get to hear the records being mixed before anybody else hears them. So I guess he called Bleek and was like, yo, after the deal is that shit. Mind you, that's fire. That's fire. But, of course, every artist would want to be placed on one of them playlists just so the people can see it. You ain't necessarily got to say, hey, yo, he up next. Yeah, you ain't got to do that. You're like, hey, yo, he up next, But just acknowledge that that's happening and just watch the world go.
Hov put you on his playlist?
Nah, but I'm waiting on it.
You waiting on it?
I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. And I know he watching. Right. Yeah, I know he watching.
I'm gonna get into that too because, like I say, like when you got an executive like Bleek, like he can go down through a whole list of like, cause you know how a lot of these guys when they got the artists, is like the easiest way to blow an artist up is just like have all they homies that got clout tag them, how they do the features.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Post it.
I call that shit social engineering. I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of music that people be listening to is just off of like what you said. It's not necessarily that like actually like the song. It's just a whole bunch of that they like this song. That's how I felt about. I'll give you an example. The Rob 49 Lil Baby record. Like when I first heard that shit, it's like, yo, what is this, bro? Like, what the fuck is this? It's super trash. Eat. Probably about my 4th or 5th time listening to that. It's stuck in my brain. I probably listened to that shit like 100 times in the past like month. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like that, just social engineering. I think I seen the same thing with who was it? I think it might have been ESTG. I think when he first got signed, you start seeing him like with Gotti Camp. You see 42 Doug throw him up. You might see Baby throw him up. You see Moneybagg Yo throw him up. And now he's the next, frenzy, craze and shit like that. You start to slowly see the same thing with what's homie name? He just dropped a song with Drake. He gonna keep popping up with Drake though. Watch, it's gonna keep happening. You're gonna keep popping up with Drake. Sometimes they learn formulaic ways of placing people in front of you to make sure that they take off. It's not necessarily the crap. I learned that, so I don't need to take it personal. For real.
So is it that you don't want to do it that way, or that's just not hasn't been presented to you?
Nah, it's always presented. They present it all the time. They don't. I wouldn't say that the label don't necessarily want to see people coming from like the Midwest because it ain't a market, but that's definitely a thing. I don't necessarily think that it's not a market. I just think that they haven't tapped into it the way that they know that they can, or that they don't know that they can. I don't think they really necessarily know what's really, really, really going on out here. They'd rather take somebody from the Midwest and move them outward. I'd rather bring the world into my world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why this platform, what's the word, is here, because it's like we don't have no main voice in Chicago. Yeah. We don't have no main voice for the Midwest, period. Like Milwaukee, St. Louis, Indianapolis, all them. Like, to be honest with you, all the roles, Chicago is the major city in this market. Yeah. So it's
that's a fact. That's a fact. Anytime any major artists come out and shit like that, they're touchdown in Detroit and Michigan and shit like that. But Michigan is a little, it's a little finicky. They touchdown in Wisconsin, but Wisconsin don't really got the crowd pull out like Chicago would. And Chicago is like one of the birthplaces of hip hop outside of like New York. So it would make sense. And y'all got the big ass pavilion stadium downtown. I just learned that y'all the third biggest state in the States right now. Well, not state, but third biggest city in the States. So yeah, it do make sense. It makes sense in being the hub. You got Kanye. You already got like, I say Chicago has like, has history already built into it. Mm-hmm. So y'all kind of got foundations for absolutely everything. It's just a matter of figuring out how to bring that shit all together again. If y'all could get people to view y'all like how they would view somewhere warm, then it'd be popping just like how New York was popping before Atlanta kind of stole everything.
I think that's going to be a hard task, but I think it's achievable. I think
I think people scared of shy. That's what I think it is. No cap. Scared of shy.
People scared of the shy.
Scared of the shy, man.
But they need somebody to be a guide and give them a visual on what's really going on here. But even in the sense of the whole Midwest, I feel like if, of course, the market of Detroit is not, I wouldn't say strong enough, or Wisconsin's not strong enough, or St. Louis, Indianapolis not strong enough. But you got somewhere like Chicago that can like bridge all them gaps.
It's the hub.
It can be the hub, and you can go do stuff here, and everybody do here, and that's always been my dream. It's like let's filter the Midwest artists through it all, because
facts.
If you get popping here, you're gonna do a show in Detroit. You ain't gonna get money. You
That's
go to Wisconsin.
Exactly what I keep saying. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, with me coming back to my city, so I'll say at least at this point in my career, because it's kind of like a real punitive point in my career. It's kind of like show and prove time. Like if it don't work out now inside the city, then it's gonna be real hard to convince the label that it's possible to make this happen. So people may not see like how much I really weigh on my mother shoulders, but before my might agree with your decision to do something, sometimes you gotta prove that you can actually possibly do it. So when I told him like I'll come back, it was like I'm not just thinking about Milwaukee, because if I could get some shit to take off up here, then I'll probably be able to move my way into Chicago and work both of them. If I could get two of them, I know I'm gonna get Detroit. That's just how the cities work. They're very influential off of each other. Right now, Milwaukee sound like Detroit, damn near like little brother. I ain't gonna cap. Like we sound exactly like right now. But it was a point in time where everybody wanted to be Chief Keef. I remember that shit vividly. Same dreads, the Aeropostale, all that shit. I know y'all remember the Aero phase, all that shit. Yeah, I remember they wanted to be Chicago, or at least the sound of the music was very reflective off of it. I remember when he first started dropping like that, it was getting turned up inside of the city too. It was real dangerous. I remember that. Everything is very reflective off of the music, and I think whichever one has the main pulse of the culture is whatever Milwaukee is gonna sound like. So I know if I could get one of these cities, the other one is gonna have to follow. Milwaukee might be the last one, which is fucked up. Yeah, it might be the last one.
See, it's this cat named Smino. You heard of Smino?
Smino
from St. Louis, right? A lot of people don't even know he's from St. Louis. He came to the Rack and got a lot of buzz and got a lot of relationships. Like his manager's from Chicago. Shout out to Chris Classic. That's my boy.
Chris Classic. Yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, I was just kicking on not too long ago.
Yeah.
Thanks. Chris.
Yeah, that's my boy. Good, amazing guy. But going back and making it a hub, I don't think no artist. I feel like when you got a city like Chicago, when it's surrounded by cities like Milwaukee with amazing talent and culture, with Detroit with amazing talent and culture, with Minneapolis, like there's so much culture in these different cities. It just comes down to resources. But like I said,
Yeah. No,
if you hustle the hub like what you're doing right now, like I'm going to Chicago, then let's say, you know what, I'm gonna go to Indianapolis and do some press and shake some hands out there with the DJs. I'm gonna go up there. Like if you do that, I feel like you can make it here, because the difference between, and let me know if I'm going on the spiel and I'm bringing it home.
No, you good.
If you can make it here, it's different from going to New York, because New York is one city. But if you think about it like this, if you do the Midwest, it's so much money to get them in the West, because now you got all these cities.
Bruh, I keep trying to explain, no cap. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a lot of politicking when it comes to New York. New York is very, I don't want to say, New York biased. Yeah, New York is very New York biased, but it's just in the culture of the people. New York is very like prideful, like that. So if you're not from the city, then you gotta know somebody from the city in order to really thug your way through that. Like for real. From being from Milwaukee, Chicago has always been my number like 2 or number 1 like top streaming fan base, which has always been surprising to me, because this is before I really was like spending time in Chicago. So it's super interesting. And then Milwaukee was always like number 10. And then eventually, in me going out to Miami and traveling out to Atlanta, you start to see Milwaukee rise up the list. So I know for a fact it's off of the influence of other people, and we don't necessarily have the resources, so we got to see it popping somewhere else in order to view it as an actual thing. It might be like, I think it's crabs in a barrel mentality type shit. Like, because we from the same, it's like, how do from the same hood get this shit popping like this, and we have the same resources and tools and shit like that, so they're less likely to see or want to see a take off. Sometimes most people don't even want to see it. Like, even in my DMs and on my comments all the time from my city, like that, like, yo, keep going for the city, keep going for the hood. But every once in a while, if I pop up on my and say cheese or DJ Academics or some shit like that, it's, we ain't never seen that nigga. I'll be confused. I spent damn near all my life there. If you don't know who I am, that should be the problem with you. No cap. You went outside or something don't make sense. No cap. Don't make sense.
That just be the people be tweaking.
What? That's why I don't read comments. That's my rule. Stay off the internet.
It's always gonna be haters. Now I want to unpack your crabs in the barrel mentality statement, because I don't think it's a crab in a barrel. You gotta understand your market, right? Because people try to say that about the rap, but then again, my homeboy from Florida, his name Roger LaRue. I can't looking up his name, but he from Orlando. You know what I'm saying? My homie. And he was telling me like, yo, with Chicago so tough, because he put it in perspective to me. He was like, Chicago is the only every time he comes to Chicago, he realized Chicago is the only place he been to that played local artists. Y'all listen to, my bad, y'all listen to people from Chicago before y'all listen to anybody. Like y'all be sitting around, it'd be local people in Chicago that y'all just be listening to when y'all like the song. And that just got me thinking, like,
y'all support y'all artists.
We support our artists, but people don't understand Chicago just support good music,
which is key. You gotta make I be saying that. But I don't know, bro. It's interesting. You can make good music, but sometimes it's just not the temperament of the culture, so they don't recognize it just yet, or they might listen to your shit, but that's not even realize like it's you or something. They might think you're from somewhere else. I get that a lot too. They might listen to my music and be like, damn, dog, I thought you was from like Atlanta, or I thought you was from like wherever the it may be type shit. But it's just I try not to sound so closely related to the people that's directly next to me, because that sound is so oversaturated in my city type shit. So in doing that, it kind of secludes you too. So like, you the outcast, but you have some type of success. I got the cosign, I got the, from Bleek and shit like that. I done been on tour with State Property. I done been on tour with quote unquote Rockefeller and shit like that. I've done these things. I done been on my own shows. I done did shit with Millie's, Jada Kiss artists, shit like that. I done did my own shows. I did this. But because I don't have a certain type of sound, I still get the, hey, when you gonna make that? When you gonna make a Milwaukee type of? Because that's what we do. We like to rap out our cars and shit. But they'll ask. But without that type of sound, sometimes you won't necessarily get that back into that push.
So I'm gonna give you some gems real quick, right? So I want to use my brother Chance for example, right? So anybody know Chicago? They know Chicago is segregated. We segregated by culture. We segregated by race. It's like it's a real segregated city. And even with the music, right? So where we at on the south side of Chicago, certain artists they can be popular, but they won't really get no love like that. Like the kids out here ain't listening to Ye.
You gotta have certain. Yeah, it's just a. It might be a content thing. Yeah. It might be a content thing. Yeah.
But a person like Chance, even with Chance, you know what I'm saying? Chance don't kill me, so I got an interview you coming with soon. A person like Chance, it might be certain hoods in the city, neighborhoods in the city of Chicago where no one is listening to his music, right? But Chance brand and his market so much, how he marketed himself, is that people love him, right?
That part.
So sometimes it don't even have. Sometimes within your city, you don't even have to lead with the records. Sometimes you could just lead with people. Shoot. So that's what I was going to say with you. Like, so maybe in Milwaukee, it may not be that you need to lead with like having them you because of the music, because sometimes that just not your sound might not just be what's going on.
It's just not the sound type shit. Right. It's not that the content ain't there, because the content is the city. It's just not the sound necessarily. People were more so like I've been compared to like say like Roddy Ricch. I've been compared to like Polo G. I've been compared to Cole before. So it's more of a worldly sound than a local sound, I say that. But the content is there. So whenever they peek into it, they like, oh, Lil Bro going crazy. But it's just not that dominant, that, you know, that BPM. But at the same time, I feel what you're saying. That's why I be trying to set up, like, right now I'm trying to set up something with G's haircuts. So, like, when the kids get ready to go back to school, they get school supplies and haircuts so they can go back feeling fly, you know, in case their parents can't necessarily take care of it, because out here hustling right now, like it's bad. We right off of the pandemic. I think right now, what's that called? The housing, what's that shit called? We just went through it not too long ago where the housing something collapsed. I can't remember the name of it though, but the prices of the housing market or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about.
It look like a depression out here.
Yeah, the real estate, depression, recession.
It look like depression out here right now. So we be trying to help out as much as we possibly can. If not do that, then I just try to show love to whatever local artists I possibly can. Show love to the clothing brands. I got Caviar right now.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Yeah. South Ridge, homie did like I think he did a little stretch inside the Feds and it came out. Got his own store. Went to South Ridge, which is South Side, predominantly white neighborhood and shit like that. So to see somebody from my side of the hood type shit make that shit happen, I try to show support. Oh, I got you. Wait. I'm gonna have him send them in.
Send the joints in. Need some promo on the show.
I got you.
I need one of them joints. Kind of fly. But that's just me. Like I think even with like how we built What's the Word here in Chicago, like when we support the culture and we support the city, like the people support us. So and then it's like so then y'all got content now too, huh? Now the content is good. So it maybe be the same thing with the music, because it ain't even really, because you're talented.
You gotta tap into the streets.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just more so the politics of like, you know what, I with Huey, Huey V, I'm gonna say full name, Huey V, with everything he got going on. So anything he do, I'm gonna support it.
Exactly. That's what we trying to get. We trying to make the city fall in love with us.
Yeah. And then the music gonna come. You know what I mean? The content gonna come.
That part. It's always gonna exist. They'll find it. That's why I said I always put out the content, even if the numbers ain't necessarily all the way there, the way that I would like them to be. I know when they double back around and they peep it, because they gonna hear it all at the same time. Whenever they discover me, they'll hear the rest of the music at the same time. I know these people gonna fall in love with me. I probably say my first EP I could say for a fact is a classic, 7 for 7. No misses on that. Okay. Sometimes I like my first EP more than I like my second EP, just because it's more street, it's more gutter, it's more raw, authentic. But the second one make you smile and make you vibe. Like you can't play the first one at a kickback. Like, you can't do it. The whole vibe of everybody go start crying and shit like that is bad. But the second one is make you want to pop a bottle, like make you want to go crazy for a fact.
Okay. So what are you doing to push your music? Like I know we talked about independent, talking about the label. We talked about press runs through the market, but like what are you doing to like push it? Like what are some tips, or what do you feel like you could be doing better to help pushing to get those
I
numbers?
I say one of the things that I learned is probably like most important is like street teamwork, yo. Like being on the floor, actually pulling up on these DJs, shaking their hands, letting them know, coming out of support. Even if you're not necessarily pushing your record that first time that you gonna meet them, just to go up there and show love, let them know who you is, and let them know you, like, you know, feel your presence like that. Eventually, maybe about the second time or something like that, you might slip him a record. Third time around, you might be performing. Fourth time around, he just gonna give you the mic after he give you the shout out like that, because you don't show love so many times. Now he might show up to these events, he reposting your shit up on Instagram. You gotta make sure you show love to get love. I learned that for a fact. You gotta show love to get love for a fact. Facts.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're gonna double back to your hometown real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you spoke on in the interview trailer and the EP trailer, the So Below trailer. You say first 2 weeks in Miami, the whole shit got shot up.
Yeah. Nah, I can't even talk too much about it. But yeah, no, we was trying to shoot a video, but you know, just running around north side of in Miami and shit like that. Shit get crazy, bro. Shit just get crazy. I say that shit get crazy, but we was in a project that we used to occupy a lot more often back in the days. But you know, New York is young, is turned. They don't know nothing. They don't know no faces, no names, no nothing type of shit. But you know, one of the big homies ended up coming through. And he put that shit to, you know, a halt real quick. But
shit happened in Miami.
yeah,
I'm thinking and that's crazy in my head. When I heard it, I'm like, yo, you left Milwaukee to go to Miami, and then like you heard about some shit that happened. Like, damn, I would have been there.
I this isn't my first 2 weeks of going to Miami, so I leave Milwaukee thinking like, all right, cool, safe and safe. I leave the city, pop up in Miami, same bullshit. I mean, but it's just like the crib. Miami like my second crib, so it really wasn't too far from like the bullshit.
Okay. All right, so Mo Milwaukee. I want to take, you talk about the sound that y'all got on there, because not only you coming out of there right now, you got home shorty that signed a QC, Lakia. She from out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she going crazy.
I fought her for a fact.
So like, do y'all got like any type of collab, or y'all got a type of relationship?
We ain't got no type of collab, but I ain't gonna lie to you, for like the past month, somebody been going crazy in her Instagram lives. Like every time she get on Instagram live, I see my name in her mentions like 100 times. Like, yo, you need a record with you need a record with So I probably won't put the word in, but eventually, I know she probably heard about the music. She had to. Somebody had to slide across the table at some point in time. Somebody, because anytime you got somebody else that's moving like that, that's actually signed outside of the city, if you not acknowledging them, then you damn near blind. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a dangerous place to be in. It is a dangerous place to be in.
Okay, I'm definitely because that's like, she ain't nothing but like a personal way. So I'm gonna definitely I say a personal way. She's nothing but a personal way to get into contact with her. When I holler at my people, so I'm gonna definitely mention.
Hey, gotta make that happen, man.
Yeah,
gotta make that happen.
This is all
QC. Pay attention to the city, man. Pay attention to the city.
You know what it is? I think a lot of like going back, a lot of these labels and a lot of these execs not even from it, because the person you sign and been doing business with, he from New York, so he don't know shit about.
Don't know nothing. So it's up to me to try and involve my city in as much as I possibly can. So that's why we doing such a push for it and like that. Because you see it all the time where a might get signed from the city, but it don't even be the artist every time. But it's just naturally that they'll sway you away from what kind of made you, in a sense, in order to take you into what people would think is the next level, because they like to see evolution just naturally. But in secluding yourself, sometimes you turn your back and you can lose your core support. It's like building a pyramid without the stomach to it.
Okay. I'm gonna do on my end. I'm gonna try to do what I can to I'm gonna try.
I let him make that shit happen.
Tap in.
What? Yeah, I let him make that shit happen. I've been talking about it for the longest. I want
to try to tap in and connect y'all. And I really want to try to support a lot of these local surrounding cities to get into these artist platforms. You know, because I know it's talent there, and if people start seeing that more.
Some rapping their lives away right now. No cap. What, going to jail, taking risk, all types of for this shit. No lie.
Definitely, because it's some, like, I think it's a lot of talent in the D. I like the D. Like a lot of the guys that's hot in the D right now, people told me about. I'm pretty sure. I never been to Milwaukee, but I'm pretty sure it's rappers everywhere. It's music everywhere.
Everywhere.
You know
It's so many of them in Detroit, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's so many rappers in Detroit,
man.
What?
It's
it is Motown. Yeah, you're right.
It's Motown. Like before.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta think, Chicago people used to go up there to get signed.
I heard a theory that like that off swing like flow come from like Jay Dilla. Man, like the beat pattern, the way that they fall on their beat patterns like that, Jay Dilla. That's a theory. And they don't even know that. I don't even think they know that.
They just know it's working.
Yeah, that shit working. No cap. I'll be in the car rapping my shit out. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They just know it's working. So now to try to like to go into a more serious matter, right? So right now we in the state. We talked about the recession. We talked about the economy. We just talked about what it is to just be black and just in poverty here in America right now. I know recently you had a lot of police brutality out there around your way in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
That's all bad. It's weird because like when it's put on the news, that it seemed like so much worse than what I actually be thinking it is. It's fucked up because I'm so used to seeing this shit. It's almost just like natural. Damn, it's fucked up, like natural just law and order with like how the residents and Milwaukee police kind of view each other. But when you see it posted across the news, and it's just like, damn, you see kind of how big they making. It's like, damn, this happen in the city all the time. They be whooping peanut ass every fucking week. Like, what? If it was a camera, what? They be whooping ass. I ain't even gonna lie. Set all types of shit. West Side. I'm not even gonna say too much because I be there all the time. But they stay set up. What? Crazy. It's crazy. It's bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. But I remember my first time seeing, I can't remember what his name was. It might have been like Jalen Walker or something like that. But I think it happened in like Racine or something like that. Couple cities like down south from us type shit. But they stay shooting over there. Like it's natural culture. It's kind of like Wisconsin remind me of Florida. For real, Wisconsin remind me of Florida, like to the T. But it's different. It's like the South has like more open racism because, you know, I think Florida was like one of the last places to let go of the slaves. It was either Florida or Virginia or something like that. One of those. Yeah, it was one of those. But the culture of it is a lot more open than it would be up north because that's kind of where the Underground Railroad led up to. So just naturally, you're looking at more tamed racism type shit. It's hidden behind the face. I always say like Republicans that call you a nigga to your face. Democrats take an interview with you, let you come in. Oh yeah, I love that. Oh, amazing hair. Like, you know, shit like that. And then as soon as you leave, call you a nigga and then throw your application out. Like that's the difference between it, but it's the exact same thing.
That's crazy, man. Cause I know when like the whole Jacob Blake situation, that was like real big in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Then the white boy.
Kenosha, yeah, that's where it was at. Yeah, Kenosha giving it up, Racine giving it up. You can hear the name Racine and races out there. Okay.
So did you have any wild run-ins with the police in your upbringing?
Yeah, mine was in West Dallas. Probably my worst incident was in West Dallas. Pulled up on me. I had a whole bunch of shit in my whip that I shouldn't have had in my whip, that I didn't have in my whip. But they was trying to pull out the whip. Like, what? I'm telling you, like 4 or 5 squad cars pull you into the side because you got a bad ticket or like the sticker, the year. I ain't had a sticker on my shit.
Play sticker?
Yeah, I ain't had that. What? That shit was going all bad. Trying to drag me on my car, all types of wild shit. But yeah, no, I've been stopped on a plethora of occasions just for walking while black. I'll say that. Walking while black, that's the thing. Driving while black, like, yeah, it's a habit.
What do you think? How do you feel like you're gonna use your platform to bring awareness or try to bring some type of change to that?
Only thing that you can really do is like you can encourage people to vote. Yeah.
You think it work?
Voting, yeah, well, even if it don't, I'm not gonna say it like that it don't work because I don't want to encourage people not to, just in case it do. But do I really believe that voting actually? Hell no. But I also think that they do so much to make sure it don't. I think the idea and the system itself, yeah, it's supposed to. All right, no, it's supposed to work like that. But at the same time, like redlining and shit like that. So that kind of makes things hard. They got gentrification. You move people out their area codes. You're making it hard for people to get to vote in booths and shit like that. You're making it even more impossible for people to vote. I think there's a point in time where it's like, if you ain't have no ID, you couldn't do it. Like, they'll purposely make things very difficult for you. I think it was a point in time where, I think it was during the pandemic, they shut down all the booths except for like 2 of them. Had everybody in the middle, primetime COVID, just sitting in line waiting. But it was only in like urban neighborhoods, if you know what I mean. Like that, right? It's interesting. It's interesting.
What would you say is the biggest like social? I want to say socioeconomic, social like dilemma or struggle within your city? Like, I know in Chicago is the quote unquote gun violence. What would it be out there?
Kia Boys. Kia Boys. What? Kia Boys. All right, so and I shouldn't even be telling like the world about the Kia Boys, because like Kia Boys is bugging right now. But the Kia Boys is like a group of like pre-teenage like kids who still kids and Hyundais. Had a documentary not too long ago. Like, they asked him like, yo, so do you feel bad about like, you know, stealing people's cars and they might be uninsured so they can't get their shit fixed? He was like, you driving without insurance, that's illegal. You should be on they have no remorse, bro. They have no remorse. These savages. What?
Kias and Hondas?
Yeah, Kias, Honda. But it's crazy. I give y'all a little game. And they gonna be hot at me for this. And they sauce up. But if you got a Kia or a Hyundai and you got your car charger in your whip, your shit is good as gone. No cap. Take your car chargers out. I'm not gonna tell y'all why. Just take the car chargers out. Leave them 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 out. What? Wreaking havoc on the city right now. I swear to God, probably like, I seen some report that said like halfway through the year they stole like 5,500 Hyundais and like 5,000 Kias or some shit, like some astronomical crazy ass number, because we a small ass city. So it's like, why y'all keep still buying these same damn cars, knowing they taking these damn cars?
Why do they want them cars?
To wrap them out. You know, every time you, when y'all see me do that, so it's some shit that they do in the city where it's like, they call it baseline and shit like that. Like, take your whip and literally just a whole suspension system up, like for no reason. Your whole suspension system up, like hitting corners hard as wrapping out, hitting poles. It's just, I don't know. It's an adrenaline thing that they got, but it's super up because like,
out of all the cars, you want to get a Kia.
Bruh, not even that. Like, I just be putting into terms of like, all right, cool. It's a quick moment of fun for them, but somebody moms ain't finna make it to work tomorrow, like on some real shit. Not somebody rent ain't finna get paid. Not somebody pops gotta go out there and go risk his fucking life again because stole his whip and you 14 years old for 30 seconds of satisfaction. Like, it's fucked up.
That's crazy.
Kia Boys, man.
Stop
what y'all doing.
Shout out to the Kia Boys, man. So, the After the Deal record was recorded before you got a deal.
It was recorded right after he called me. It was like, hey, yo, I need 2 more records. Otherwise, like, da 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 da. So when he called me, he was like, yo, I you, but it's just so it's kind of like me speaking and prophecy. But it's weird, bro. I say all the time, the more that I listen to it now, the more that shit resonate with me more than at that moment. But it was that moment was such an impunitive moment for me, because it was like, damn, off that one phone call, that could have not had even been Bleek. It could have been absolutely anybody. I ain't never heard Bleek voice before. But just off of getting that opportunity to set a fire in me that, like, I don't know, bro. I was on one for a good minute.
What's been some crazy shit that you was like, man, it was signing the deal even worth it?
Sometimes you'll get frustrated just off of like As Above, So Below is supposed to be originally like a mixtape with 14 songs and 2 bonus tracks, 16 all together, like that. That was gonna be my first mixtape. Like how Cody had like Friday Night Lights. That's originally what I wanted to do, put out that one classic ass mixtape. And in that way I could chill for a little bit if I wanted to, but have a big enough body of work to be able to understand how my brain works and spectrums of placing certain songs next to each other, sequencing, storytelling, all of that. I feel like signing a deal they make your shit kind of mainstream, so they take away the full like the full aspect of how you're supposed to receive necessarily all of the music. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, cool, we're pacing because it's oversaturating the rap game. Like by far, I think Lil Baby dropped a mixtape every other month. Like bad out here, bad out here, Lil Baby.
Yeah. I like your honesty. I want to say that about yourself. I like your honesty. I like how you break down, how you view certain situations, and it's not coming off. It's like you hating it all.
No,
I'm learning.
learning.
You just learning, and you just seeing how it is. So I like that. I like how transparent you are with like you studying the game and seeing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that's maturity. I like that. So Young Guru mixed this whole EP, right?
First and second one.
Okay.
Yeah, he smoked what? He smoked that first one. I ain't gonna lie to you. He smoked that shit. I still ain't necessarily listened to my entire EP for my second one just yet. Because sometimes I make it and I wanna appreciate it at the same time that other people are appreciating it. So I get the whole mixing process done and then listen to like the first 5 to 10 seconds and be like, okay, everything sound on point. If the first 10 seconds sound on point from Guru, I know the rest of that on point, immaculate. So yeah.
What is it like working with him? Like what's your most memorable or like story you got?
I met him one time. At Soho House. He came to Miami Soho House to do it was like a breakdown, a Pro Tools session breakdown of what's his name? I think it was either Marvin Gaye. It had to be Marvin Gaye, like a vocal breakdown of Marvin Gaye sessions and shit that he got from the actual records. And he found a way to put that into a computerized system so you could isolate certain things, make it acapella, take away the beat, ... And I was like, damn, bro, this nigga's really a genius, like a human artifact. Like, we got to take care of Guru at all costs. We try to protect that guy. Because I don't know, man. He's a genius. Boy's like a walker in history, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Walking history, but like anything we send to him, he taking care of it. And he do it off the love, too. So,
oh, that's dope. That's dope. Like you said, you kind of setting yourself up to win. Have you spoken?
I'm trying to align myself with everybody I need to align myself with. I can already kind of see where this is going to head to because I see where my brain work and I see my creating ability type shit. So it's just a matter of figuring out the league, man. I got to figure out the league, figure out where the teams is at, who the coaches everywhere, who play who make the calls and shit like that, gatekeepers. Y'all figure that shit out. But I'm trying to make it last for the next 7 to 20 years. That's what I'm thinking.
No, that's facts. All right. So, what is that? Because I think we spoke. That I asked you that have you spoken to Ho before?
You said you asked me?
Yeah. Have you?
No, I haven't. Not personally. Yeah. Always through third party. Like, yo, tell him keep going. Through Bleek and shit, because he'll get the call before anybody. I ain't got his line, nothing like that. I would not give me his line. Nah, don't do that.
No, what would be one question you would like to ask him? If you can get on the phone with him, what would be the one? If you could, prime example, how they say dinner with Jay-Z or the $500,000?
I'm taking 500.
Why are you taking 500?
Because if I take the 500, I feel like he would talk to me. Like, damn, you made the smarter decision. Why would you skip out on the bread when he just gonna tell you to do something that's gonna cost money? On some real shit. He just gonna tell you a business venture that's gonna cost you money. You took. I mean, if you had the money, and I you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people who are self-sufficient like that don't want to just give away tools. They want to see you doing something first. So if you already start off in the bread before you even got the bread, you already check up before you even got the check. He not gonna want you're not even responsible with money. You ain't even had the money. You it up. Nah.
That's
on
smart.
some real shit.
That's smart. But if you got the bread, what would be the one question you would want to ask him then? If you got to sit down, what would you ask him?
How to start a liquor enterprise. You got to do say premium cognac. But I'm Mexican and black, so I got to do the tequila. I fuck with the tequila super, super, super heavy. You feel me?
Tequila,
I gotta do the tequila.
What?
What? How to start a liquor enterprise. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I want to do like gold and silver tequila. That it's like lime and lemon infused, already on ice, already chilled, like that. I'm gonna figure it out.
So next time you come up here, man, just get some. Hopefully you got. I got a tequila, but I need some Douce.
They were supposed to bring Douce, man. We got a private listening session though, not too long ago. I think it's on the 8th, but it's in Chicago. Yeah, Douce sponsor. So pull up. I'm gonna have to Douce there for a fact.
Come through.
Pouring up.
you, I'm gonna come through.
Yeah, we pulling up, man. We pulling up. You
too.
too. Yeah.
Come through with you, man. And yo, Hov, Bleek, y'all listening? I would love to be a rock boy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
do
feel
say,
me?
put me in line. I want the paper planes. I want the do say.
Chains, dog.
I'm trying to get in where I fit in. You know what I'm saying? Let's put on for the Midwest, man. Let's do this together. Me and Bro could do this together. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
But last question, man. I know this ain't gonna be our last time chopping it up, but I always ask artists the first time I talk on this. What is that moment that Huey V is looking for when he know that he made it? What does that look like? What is that moment?
The moment, I always picture it as like when the song come on and I'm not even on the stage yet, but I can hear every single word being sang already, to the point where when I walk out into the crowd, you can't even hear my voice over the sounds of the people singing your shit back. That's the moment that I'm looking for, when shit like really break me down into tears. Like, damn, this really happened. It really worked. These really listening to what I'm saying, because I'm really talking my life story now. But it's not necessarily about me. Anytime I make my songs, I try to make it from a point of where you could learn something from it, but not necessarily from like an all-knowing, I'm trying to tell you how to live your life. It's just always super corny to me. I don't like preachy music. I like listening to some music and hearing him make a mistake and telling you how he learned from his mistake and his thinking. Like, I got songs about like King's Law, 48 Laws of Power and shit like that we probably won't hear for the next couple of years, just because like it's not ready for who Huey V is necessarily yet. But I've already lived it, so I'm waiting for the world to catch up with it.
All right, man. There y'all go, man. That's my brother right there, Huey V, man. Y'all stay in tune with him, man. It's Cody Mack. What's the word?
What's the word?
And we out.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's the word?